Hello there. Welcome to another stupendous episode of Midday Show Live. My name remains Tony Ghana, and surprisingly, I have Rachel Tanzi here on the show with me.
Are you surprised?
No, I am just trying to let them know that we were able
Yeah,
to get you
I'm on
surprisingly,
the
yeah,
show.
because I think it takes the anointing of God
Wow.
for me to have that authority
I feel
to
blessed.
summon you all the way from the dailies to midday
Down here,
show.
it's
So
true,
it
it's
takes a lot
true.
of grace that I don't think it's not everybody that has it.
All right, that's good.
So welcome on the show.
Thank you, Anthony.
And I'm happy I'm having you. I think this is not the first time we are doing this, right?
Yeah, it's
So
not.
let's go chop Iceland now.
Abi.
So we intend to talk about the daily activities of Iceland
Yeah.
citizens, and then when talking about their daily activities, you talk about what they do on their daily basics, their way of life, their cultures, their traditions, their site attractions,
Yes.
and like a lot of things that has to do with Iceland. And going back to dates, or let's say going back to dates, I think Iceland has been a place of peace, even from the way the numerous of wars that happened during the Britain Empire. I mean the Britain invasions and the wars that happened during that time. So I think the Scandinavians decided to find Iceland to be a very interesting place, to be a very cool and calm place, and all of that, and they decided to settle there, and that's the reason why they are residents or people that are residing there up to this moment, because of the fact that they see that okay, the place is nice, the environment is is fruitful, the lands are to some extent nice for cultivation of crops and all of that, and for the fact that it is a very cool place, because the name ice alone should tell you that it is a place that is filled with a lot of ice and snows and all of that.
Yeah.
But then it's a very nice place, it's a very cool place. So I would want us to dive into
Yeah.
the Icelandic cultures, their traditions, their daily activities, their tourist attractions, their foods, and all of those things. So I think it's one of the world's highest standard of living, in the sense that there are high standard of living in that particular country. But then, like the majority of them has, I think they are living to some extent at large, because of the fact that the majority of the citizens have work, like they have something doing.
Yeah.
They are employed, and
Yeah.
they are not really the kind of people that are say lazy and would want to indulge themselves into one activity or the other, just for them to fend for themselves financially and all. But even at that, aside from that, they're hardworking, and they indulge into a lot of activities during their midday, during their night, and a lot of things, because Iceland is a country that is so cold, and to some extent cold can be very affecting to one's health. So I want to believe that there are so many measures that have been put in place in order to have themselves warm, even when it is even when it is summer and all of that, so that they will not maybe fall sick and all of that. So some of these activities are what we want, or probably I want us to talk
Definitely
about
we're going to
today.
portray it.
So I want you to start first. What are the activities you feel as an Icelandic person would be doing at this point in time? Let's say for today now, what do you think we'll be doing?
Well, they said they're avid readers though, and then it have to be for when the weather is very very cool. So like they just stay in and all of that. And I think maybe I didn't do my assignment well to know what time of the year it is for them now, whether
Okay,
it's
yeah,
already
it's true,
very
yeah,
cold
yeah,
and all of that. But
yeah.
then if it's very
But
cold, I
think,
believe
I think it is cold now there.
so they're probably
I think
reading.
I think their time of summer is around is it May to September.
All right. So now they're starting to see the snow. So
Yes.
definitely they are reading, I believe.
Of course,
and
true,
I
true.
really love that. Just sipping your coffee and you're reading books, because they
Yes,
read
talking
a
about
lot
books,
of books.
they like reading a lot. In fact, they're one of the people that read a lot in the whole wide world. They love reading, and
Yeah.
they read because of the fact that they just want waste. When I say waste, like while away time
While
actually.
away time.
And it's very exciting when the weather is cool, everywhere is calm, and then you pick up a novel or a book to read. Like everything will sink in effortlessly. Like everything will just be going, and that's why I think that's one of the reasons why even back then, back here in our country, you see people or students trying to read during the night, because of the fact that they feel the weather is conducive and everywhere is calm and all of that. That's where everything enters your head. So that's why I think even there they love reading, because of the fact that the weather is cool and it's very conducive for them there. And when you read in a very conducive environment, you are prone to understanding everything that you are reading, and then that excitement that you're actually reading, it will be inside of you, not when you are sweating and you're not really yourself, and you'll be struggling with sweat and then be struggling with understanding what you are reading. So
I mean, you don't
I
have
think,
to read outside though, but even if you're sweating, as long as
but you
you're
will not be
like
comfortable
you,
while sweating.
well, it's because of his nature. Like there are places that people are very hot. They'll just find a way of coping with the environment and
It's
do.
true though.
I believe they read because of the nature
Of
of
their
their
weather.
weather. Exactly. If perhaps Iceland would have been hot,
Hot.
I don't think the
They want to
most
read.
activity
Okay.
they would do there is reading. So it just flows with the nature
Of the weather.
of the weather, and then
True.
they are also very intelligent people,
Yeah,
because
true.
when it comes to schooling and education, it's like mandatory, and then it's free up till university level. So it's just normal for people who take education that seriously to be like readers, to just be
Majority of them are
bookworms.
well
And
educated. Yeah, it's
yes,
true.
they are. So it's not out of place to see that these people love to read books, and we see that they have writers that have won Nobel Prize coming from Iceland. So you
Lots
should know
of
that
them.
writing
Lots
and
of
reading
them.
is kind of a way of life for them. So
And it's actually a
regardless,
very small country. I think the
very
population there
small.
is more of like 70,000 thereabouts.
Is
Not
it
even
like
that more.
200 and something thousand?
Is it 200 and
That's,
something?
yeah, is not even bigger than a state in the
Okay,
United
yes,
States
it's
of
true. Yes,
America.
yes, it's
Yes,
true.
they
So they
are
are actually a very small
very
country,
small,
but then
very small
they are well to
country.
do. They are very intelligent. They take care of themselves, and they indulge into so many things. But as little as their country is, the setting, their setting is actually a multilingual setting, in the sense that it's not only a particular language that is being spoken all over the country. They have about, say, maybe five or more thereabouts that is spoken within the country. But then their major or official language is, I think, Icelandic, and then I think
Yes.
which other one
They
is
teach Danish and
Ditch, yeah,
English in
Ditch,
schools.
Danish, yeah, Danish.
Yeah, in
So
schools.
these two are actually the official language. I think the Danish
The
and
ones
the
that have been
English
taught
in
in school,
school,
while they
yeah.
have one national language with the Icelandic language,
Yeah,
and
it's
then
true.
but then others too speak many other languages that
Languages.
you can find in North America and then in
So
Europe.
as a visitor, you shouldn't be bothered about the fact that maybe for the fact that it's actually a small country, maybe they will know your language or stuff like
Yes,
that.
they
But
will
then
speak English with
you
you, so
speak
we are
English.
safe.
You can see those. You can. I'm very sure you will see those that speak French too. Those that
Of
speak
course.
Sweden, and Swedish. Is it Sweden or Swedish?
Swedish.
Okay, Swedish,
Yeah.
Swedish language and all of that. Now going back to their names too, their Icelandic name, there is this culture there that if you, let's say for instance, have you watched Vikings?
No,
The
I
series
haven't.
Vikings. I
But I've
wanted
watched
to.
many other Viking
Okay,
movies.
I wanted to use this actor Ragnar as an example.
Okay, I haven't watched it.
Okay, like let's say for instance, you happen to be Ragnar happens to be a father of two, where you have Ivar and let's say Ube. And so they value their names, in the sense that if Ivar should use, or probably intends to use his name, he will definitely attach it with his father's name, and then it will be called, I think, Ivar
Okay.
Rognisson.
Okay,
That's
let's
his
do
son.
it. Let's read it here, and then let's play it out here. Okay, so it's like the reset of, okay, when it comes to Icelandic names, right? The rest use the system called patronymics.
Okay, yes,
We have
true.
it here,
Yes.
in which names, the surname
Are
is
formed
formed
from
by
the
the
father's
father's first name combined with either son or daughter, that's daughter. Thus, if Richard and Inga, the children of John Stephenson, their names will be Richard Johnson and Inga John's daughter. And then we have, because of this system is considered proper to address islanders by their first names, also because there's no family names, a woman does not change her name with to marry. I mean, I love that. I don't
I know
mind
you
keeping
love
Rachel
this.
Sansi.
I've known you, so I'm not surprised.
But then, what's your dad's first name?
Well, my dad's first name is Phillips,
My dad's first name is Daniel.
So
So
you would
I'm
have just-
Rachel, Daniel's daughter.
so I would have.
And
I'll be
you're
using
Anthony
Phillips.
Phillipson.
Wow, I think it sounds nice.
Sounds nice. It sounds
I think
nice.
I'll do away with Ghana and go
I just
with,
go for
Tony
Anthony
Phillipson.
Phillipson,
But
and
it
then I'll
looks
just be
foreign.
Rachel, Daniel's daughter.
Sounds so. I mean, it sounds so foreign, honestly.
It sounds
And-
nice.
But then it will be we trying to take away another person's culture into ours and then neglecting ours, which is I don't think
But
is
the
ideal.
culture is cool, you know.
It's cool, but we have ours. No, it's not as if we don't have ours. So we should just stick to what works
I will
for us.
reconsider.
Okay, that's for you anyway. And coming down to the educational system,
Yeah.
in addition to its high rate of literacy, Ireland has boasted the world's highest percentage of school-age youngsters adding school, again almost 100%. All youngsters between the ages of 6 to 16 must attend school, and education is free at all levels through the university. The school year varies in length depending upon the vacation, but most schools are in session for 9 months through the beginning of September to the ending of May. One particular interesting thing about the requirement that it seems to be unique to Iceland is that all students must know how to swim before you graduate from your elementary school, and I think this is very interesting. And
Because
it's
they are
very
surrounded by
they are
water.
surrounded by water. You know, for you to be on the safer side, I think some of these precautions have to be taken because you just don't have to wait until one person or the other fall a victim before you do what is necessary.
Yeah.
And I think that's a very nice one because when you have your child or probably they have been trained on how to swim, whatever any circumstance of say flood or anything that comes to that intends to come into existence, you have a way of try to escape that kind of scenario and then all of that. So I think it's a very nice one.
I mean,
At a very young age, and then someone at let's say 10 he already knows how to swim. I think it's a very I'm not saying let's say for instance around 10. I think it's a very nice idea.
It is.
And if some of our riverine countries can
states
or countries or states can
Okay.
copy that kind of habit, I think it will really say a lot or probably help us to save humanity, because we don't really take some of these things serious, maybe because of the fact that some countries don't really have areas that are covered by water and all of that. But then I think this is a very nice idea, and for the fact that it's like their school there is free, like it's just giving me this vibe that you can go there and so long you have their citizenship, you can just go there and have your free education.
You cannot just go there and have a free education because Iceland is tight when it comes to migration, and then the standard of living is very high.
You're trying to discourage me right now.
And I have to discourage you.
I was already thinking of going there to do my master's.
It's free education only.
Is it degree or university? Is it limited to all through?
They have free education.
I'll try now.
But you're not an Icelander, so it doesn't
I'll
apply
try.
to you.
I'll try
There's
to.
nothing you can do about it. You're not an Icelander,
I should just remain in my country.
chill. Yeah, if you want to go and school
I should
there,
not jackpot. I should stay.
feel free. And funny enough, they live there for their tertiary because they just have one major university, and then it's limited to like 20 course of studies, like thereabout, and then so you find out that in as much as their education is very good and top notch,
many of them fly out
they
to go and
still
study.
leave Iceland, to go and further their studies
Sometimes
there.
you're not contented with what you have, so it's a normal thing for humans. So
They're small, and trust me, if you want to be up to global standard, you just have to leave your shores.
like globally, that's the capital word. Globally.
Yes, and they have the money for it, and we see that households, they have very few wealthy people, but then they don't know anything like poverty because everybody is just within the minimum, within the middle class.
Yes.
There's just no any
I
class
think
apart
I
from
was
middle
a place
class.
I read that like extreme poverty is more of like almost unknown there.
Oh yes, exactly.
So I was
they
like,
don't know
damn,
poverty.
in this world we have a country such as
that
that.
don't know poverty.
Wow,
Like,
wow!
what
Like
happened?
I was
Why didn't
wowing
I
all
land
through.
there?
So I think it's a nice country, and it's a country that if you
is.
just go there, please try as possible to get a citizen and please remain there.
And
Because it's a country that there is no or less corruption.
yes,
It's corruption free. There is nothing like mago. Okay,
Because
sorry.
there are
I wanted to say
few-
mago.
yes, I feel Iceland's population determines a lot of the goodness they have there because they are small. Even their birth rate is low compared to like the death rate. They have long life expectancy from
like 56, 52.
no up to 78 for men, 80 for women. Like
Oh.
that's how high it is
Oh, I
for
was thinking
them.
it's even
Like
62,
from
82.
birth and all of that. So men is 78 and women as up to
80.
82 and thereabouts. So they have high because I think it's easy that resources can flow through. I mean 200 and 20 something
something
thousand
citizens.
people
Yeah,
is it's really a small
it's
number
going to
for
be
an
easy,
entire
but then
country.
it's not easy to lead a lot of people though. No matter how small they are, even if they are two, you should know that there are a lot of
Of course, they have
some
things set
certain
up for that.
inappropriate things that would probably go through. But then I just feel they are being intentional, and I think they are known for what they are, and that's what is standing out for them.
Yes,
So I think it's a very good thing to emulate, just in case anybody wants to emulate that kind of habit of not being corrupt. It's a very good thing to
you can take
emulate.
it from them.
So you tell us about their everyday life.
Okay, so for everyday life in Iceland, we have under the condition imposed by its remote location, life in Iceland is not much different than that of Western Europe. So they are kind of remote, they are like secluded. It's not that busy city. They don't have this
True.
metropolitan lifestyle of busyness and all of that. So we have that the standard of living is one of the world's largest, highest income are quite high and nearly everyone in the middle social and economic class. Now we are seeing that they have a cost of living that is high, and because of the distance from land, so you just everything you need to get, you need to include transportation
Of
costs.
course,
It's
of
not,
course.
you can't trek it.
It's not possible.
You can't walk everything
Unless
there.
it's just for a little space or something. But if it's going to say a mile or something, you just have to indulge into either ferry boat or stuff like
Yes,
that.
something like that. So that distance alone make things different.
Mm.
And then we can see their housing also.
Mm.
In as much as housing is expensive, they have over
Like majority
80%
of them has their own
have
accommodations.
80% of them have their own houses.
Isn't
And
Iceland
it's
a very nice
quality
place to
house. It's
be?
not just anyhow house, not the type that used to collapse in
Really?
Ikoyi.
But you have to be that specific.
Not that type because of earthquake and
Mm.
all of that. Yes, and they do also have volcanic activities.
Yes.
So for all of these natural disasters,
Mm.
their houses are like concrete times three. So it's like really, really strong.
Strong.
So it makes it
Solid
very,
foundation.
yes,
See, when your
solid
foundation
foundation.
is strong.
Exactly.
You
So
cannot
that's how
fall.
they
You can
build it. I
never,
mean,
never
everything
fall.
is of high standard in Iceland.
Yeah.
Yes.
So talking about the leisure time activities, they said Icelanders are the world's best, most avid riders. That
Yeah.
is that on a personal, on a daily basis, more books, magazines, daily newspapers are published and read in Iceland than any other world any other country in the world. Then reading keeps people occupied during the long cold winter, and then many families take great pride in their personal libraries. The country is home to a number of well-known writers, including the Aldous Lagness, who received the Nobel Prize of Literature in 1950. Oh, wow, that's a very long time ago. That's a very long time ago. But then I think it's still, the recognition is still,
That's one thing
it's still
about
in,
a
it's still,
Nobel
it's still in
Prize. It doesn't get
existence. Yeah,
old.
it doesn't
Even
get old.
200 years later,
So
you have a Nobel Prize.
so I
And
think
it
I
goes down
think
in
I think I
history.
think the chop book very sorry am I supposed to use that word?
Oh, yes, they eat it.
They eat book, yeah, that's the
yes,
word
they
actually.
consume book.
They consume book a lot. So don't go there and be challenging them on what you don't know. So, so that you not be caught
Yes.
wanting of
So
the
you
circumstance that you
wouldn't
cannot
be-
really help
It's
yourself with.
true.
But in addition, they say the printed media, other forms of communication are very important to Icelanders. The government is anxious to move the country away from its economic dependence on natural resources and towards an information economy. There are now more than 70 radio stations, 14 television stations, and 7 internet service providers operating in the country. And it has invested heavily in circular technology and both fiber optic and satellite links to Europe and North America. They say today Iceland has the world highest rate of mobile phone ownership. And I'm like, as small as they are,
Yeah, it means maybe virtually everybody have a cell phone. I
wow.
think that's what it means, a mobile phone.
Yeah, yeah.
And and it's not all about population. I believe it doesn't have to be everybody, but based on their number compared to the people having it out of their
True.
population, that's what
True.
makes it the highest, not
True.
regardless of the number. Regardless of their population. And then talking about their sports activities, they have a very short summer period,
Yeah,
and then
true.
during the summer period they enjoy camping, they
They
do
enjoy skiting.
yeah, yeah.
They enjoy picnicking,
Yes, going out for
camping,
picnic, yeah.
diving, and
Of
scuba
course, and
diving
then
and all of those things.
when it is the winter time, of course they are skiing, and then they do indoor, like they do skating, and then snowmobiling. I don't know if you know that one, where you have like a jet ski.
Mobiling, I think, like more of like
Yeah,
you're on like a
exactly.
bike or something. Then
But it has slates.
yes, of course, true. It
Exactly,
should.
and
It
then
should.
you're
I think
just
that's going to be fun. Like
it's
on the
going to, and
you being
scary.
yeah, it's true. That should take a lot of courage and mindset for you to be on top of a machine
But
that is
easy
going.
at the same time, because these are not wheels, it's well balanced, and
Yeah, but
you don't have to
this
go as
is
fast as
you're
we
on top
see it
of
in the
water. Oh, you
movies.
get
And it's
you're on
still
top of
ice.
water.
It's still ice. I mean, and then it's period. The ice
Imagine
is not
imagine once
melting.
fall and then you knock you or probably you hit your head on the ice or
No,
something.
now that's why they wear
Okay,
helmets.
yeah,
They have
it's
like
true. Okay,
full.
yeah, it's true. Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
you're carried away with
Okay,
how we don't
we
have
do our
safety
own.
measures here,
I
and you're
get.
just imagining yourself all there.
It's my
No,
domestic sort of mentality.
well, we can
You can't
pardon
blame me.
that. We can
You
pardon
can't
that.
blame me.
Yes, but they do have a lot of fun activities. If you see the activities Icelanders are into, you just know that these people are just so comfortable. A horse is expensive, and they
True.
go for horseback riding and every other things that they do. They love basketball, they love handball, and they play chess, and then bridge. Of course, when you're in for the winter, you need to keep your brain active, and
True,
no
true,
wonder
true.
they are always engaging in things that will keep the brain active. So we're just seeing a people that their life is so simple, and no wonder you would want to
Spend the
move
rest of
there.
my life
But
there.
I'm telling you, it's not
Like
going to be easy. It's very expensive for you. That is
Rachel,
not
Rachel,
from here.
wish a good thing for me, please.
I'm wishing
You're
the
supposed to
best for
pray
you.
that
I'm just seeing.
in my struggle to attain or let me say an leadership cap or something, maybe an leadership card or something, or anything as related as that would probably endeavor my being there permanently. You're supposed to pray for my attaining such thing and not
I'm
be
just prepared.
negative.
I'm being a good friend here, and I'm preparing you that it's not easy, and
Okay.
you will spend a lot of
I know
money.
there will be
And
obstacles, there will be
you might.
potholes, there will be a lot of things, but then I will scale through.
All
That's my
right.
prayer. That's my
I'll
belief.
be happy. I'll visit you one day in Iceland.
That's
I'm
only if
telling
I
you.
want you to.
I will come. It's
Okay.
by force.
Oh, really?
Yes, we'll meet there.
All right.
Yes.
Then talking about their cultural events, we have music, theater, dance, and then arts are popular throughout Iceland, even in the smallest communities. The country is home to National Theatre Company, and then the Icelandic Ballet Company, and then Icelandic Symphony Orchestra. It is doubtful that other cities in the world can match. That in this Reykjavik is their the state their
The
what was it? The
capital.
capital city,
Yes.
and then it I think is a place that has a lot of theaters, a lot of museums where you can visit, you can go, and even if you don't want to be involved in any activities, I believe there are a lot of people there that would you see dancing, being in their festive periods, and then vibing to whatever thing that they are celebrating, and then you just watch and catch fun, or then you video, or probably whatever thing that would make you happy at that point in time, you just do that. I think that's the activities for them, and one should be encouraged to be
Of
indulged or
course.
engaged into such activities so that you will be able to feel that feeling or have that feeling of what they are feeling, because you can't get or understand one feeling if you are not indulged or into that person's sort of spirit at that point in time. So I believe or I trust that if one should be a stranger in a country as such as this Iceland, you try to be involved in everything that they do, their activities, their music, even if you don't know how to sing, mime alongside with their songs, and even if you don't know how to pronounce or go with the lyrics, sing rubbish, please.
Wow. I mean, okay, it's orchestra. It's just beautiful music that
Yeah,
you're
it's
just
just you
supposed to
can you don't have
listen to.
necessarily
You
to
don't have
sing.
to
Yeah,
sing
you
with
just
it.
listen,
Exactly. And then they do a
calm
lot
yourself.
of wood carving and then weaving. So it just shows that they just love quality things, even when it comes to art, because wood carving is not easy.
And yeah,
It's one of those sculpturing that needs a high amount of patience, attention to details, and then a lot of expertise. And then we can say the same thing for weaving also. It's like it's years and years of passed on tradition, and even if you want to be good at it at their own level, you have to dedicate like a lot
time.
of years into reaching the level of becoming an expert in weaving, and then to be able to reach that standard where your work can be showcased. And of course, when tourists come in, this
You'll
is
be
a kind of
interested to
finished,
see and as well to
exactly
buy and all
perfect
of
job
that. Yeah,
that they
true.
are looking for to buy. And no matter how expensive it is, because it is an original Scandinavian weave,
Yeah, it's
they
true.
will buy
Yeah,
it.
yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Before we continue, I would want us to, go on a short break. And before we continue joining, before you continue joining with us about our daily activities done in Iceland, we would love to go on a short break. So stay glued to that cushion of yours and don't touch that remote. We'll be back. Welcome back, and this is still your favorite midday show on Equa Television. I still have Rachel on the show with me, and I want to believe that you're actually enjoying the show, or are you not?
Yes, I'm now Rachel Daniels,
Oh,
Dorothy, and
oh.
then you're Anthony.
Maybe you will have to go to the court to get an affidavit before
For now, because we are in Iceland, so
Okay. Oh.
yes,
Sorry.
yes. After this show, I'm back to
Kai,
my
what's
name,
wrong with me
but
with this my
it's
domestic
Rachel.
domestic mentality?
It's
I think I will
Rachel
have to.
Daniels Dorothy.
Okay, so Rachel Daniels waiting.
Daniels Dorothy.
Whatever thing it is not your name. So don't hold on to what is not your name. All I know is
For
Rachel
now.
Rachel Tanzi. Please
All
try
right.
to elevate your culture, your tribe, and anything that concerns you publicly for people to know, so that people
To
would
take out the
people
phone.
no. I feel when people see your tradition, your origin, your roots, maybe they'll be interested to even know, get involved into it and as well be identified
Well,
with it too.
Anthony, I mean,
So if you want, if
we're
you
not
keep
in my
yours,
village. Is that where we are today? So allow me to be Scandinavian for once. If I want to be, just allow me.
please, sorry,
Yeah.
Scandinavian Rachel. What's your name?
Yes, Daniel's Dorothy.
Okay,
Yeah.
Daniel's Dorothy. Please continue. Let's continue.
Okay, so we've been looking at the rich culture of the Scandinavian people, their wealth, their education, everything that is just all about them, like their wealth, how Anthony wants to migrate. And I've been trying to tell you that it's not going to be easy. But I mean, let me allow you wallow in your imagination. We've seen their culture, we've seen their lifestyle, how much of avid readers they are. And I mean, it's time for us to know some of their food and dining. Hmm.
Iceland actually is a Nobel Prize winning country has been identified with a lot of delicacies and all of that.
Their food have won Nobel Prize.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. You've not. Sorry, it's not their food. Sorry, it is one of their.
It's in the
It's
writer
one. Yeah,
that
the one
has
of
the
yeah,
Nobel
yeah,
Prize
Yeah, it's
captured
true. Yeah,
their-
captures
their
their food. Yeah, it's
dining,
true. Yeah,
yes.
it's true. Sorry.
Yeah.
And when you talk about their food, you should know that there are a lot of things like shark's meat,
Yes.
dry fish, like anything that you can get from
Well,
sea.
fish is the major.
Yeah, it's the major food actually.
Yes, they eat.
But then there are a lot of mainstay and Icelandic diets that you wouldn't want to
Different
miss.
kind of
You wouldn't want
diet.
to miss. Most people eat fish in some form at least once in a day. It is written. Some of them even eat them raw, pickled, and then smoked or cooked in varieties of way, whichever way you feel it's convenient for you. And then lamb and some other things are popular meat. Boiled tomatoes are served with most main meals, along with a boiled vegetable. So some of these things are things that it has to do with your variety of taste, your variety of want, your variety of your choice of want rather, for your taste and whatever thing you want to eat. So if you, or probably if one tend to be opportunity to be there, you try as much as possible to have a taste of some of these varieties, so that you can come back here, and if you can't really import them from your travel, you can just easily learn how to cook or prepare them over there, and then you come back here and cook. But I think even if you want to cook them here, you still need some of these ingredients that you are likely not to get here.
Get them there.
So I just think you would rather just have this determination of like mind of staying there completely, so that you are enjoying all of these things to totality.
I mean, talking about importing, I mean, Icelanders don't even import the majority of the food they eat.
Yes.
If not recently, we just things like coffee, sugar, and then
Which
the
is-
things
which
that they
is-
don't
which
have
to
in
some extent
abundance.
It's normal because
I mean,
it's not every country that
don't
that is
mind me
actually-
to come from an economic point of view. They
Okay.
have a balance of trade surplus.
Of course, true.
Because
True.
is they consume, like, this is what it means for you to be living large. That is, you consume majority of what you produce, and this is just typical them, because everything they eat, every delicacy, every kind of different dish, they make it from the scratch, because importing is going to be very
Very
expensive for them.
true.
So it's like they just found a means around what they have, and then
they make use of
because they
it.
have a large appetite.
True.
They have very large appetite. Like they don't eat one thing. It's not like how we have
There are
bread and
varieties of
tea,
food, yeah.
or you just eat one thing. No, when they want to eat, they want to have varieties on their table, so that
which is very
makes
ideal
them.
and I think very fun, because when
It
you see varieties
is.
of food, even if you don't have the appetite of eating, seeing food in varieties alone would arouse your appetite, and you would want
I
to eat
know
as
by nature, I'm an Icelander, because
by nature.
when
love that
when
one. By
I'm
nature.
eating, I always like having plenty things on
your
my
table.
plate.
Wow.
Exactly. Even if I'm just having tea, I want to have it with different, like with 5 types of biscuits. I want to have it with like this,
calm me
this,
down
and
now.
that. So I mean, I feel like I'm even the one who deserves to be in Iceland more than you, and not
Is it because
you.
I'm trying to hide my own appetite and my kind of person? I
I'm
don't want
just
to.
saying.
I don't want to necessarily, say some of the things that I am known for, because I feel it's not really necessary.
Not
I shouldn't be showing
necessary.
myself here.
Well,
So I
I've
don't.
showed myself over, and I think I'm the Icelander here.
Okay, you continue showing you continue showing off yourself. Then we have from one of their foods we have skar, which is one of the Icelandic yogurts. So this is really known as an Icelandic product, and it has been a part of Icelandic cuisine for over 1,000 years. And this food is actually cultured daily. Sorry, is a cultured dairy product with the consistency of yogurt, and it is very similar to Greek yogurt, but then the flavor is milder. That is, the difference is there. Though in look, or probably some part
the
of
same
taste and
thing,
stuff, like
yeah,
it looks
but-
like that of Greek yogurt, but then the difference is there. And if I when we want to talk about yogurt, I start like I just start salivating, because that's actually one of my favorite drinks actually. And you can't tell of what you take in here with what you can get there. The variety, like the difference is clear. So I think it's best, just like you spoke about varieties, it's best you test things in their different forms or in their different makings, so that you can be able to see the one that is best from all the varieties of what you've tasted, and probably you will stick to whatever thing that works for you.
Of course.
So I think it's best that one, sometimes when you travel, you don't just stick to your home food, but then try to test some of this your foreign food. No, there are some places one would want to go to, or probably goes to, and then you realize that some of the food that you can find there are likely
You won't
to
find
or
Nigerian.
similar to what you are used to or you are familiar with. So sometimes some people just stick to what
But you know that-
works for
but
them, because
Anthony, you know that whether you like it or not, if you go to Iceland, you can't stick to what you like.
I know
You
it's
have
not
to
close
eat-
my country, so I have to eat what I am
Exactly.
exposed to.
You have to eat what is there. And I think that's the thing about traveling. It's not about finding what is comfortable for you. It's about trying
Something new.
Something new, exactly. And then what's the point of traveling if I'm going to be eating eba? I won't do that. Of course not. I'm going to find a slow roasted lamb, and this is one of their
actually.
food also. What I like about this lamb of theirs is that they don't grow it. I mean, they don't breed it by feeding it. They just let this sheep loose, and they feed themselves. They just, from a long period of time until they grow, and then they catch
You
the poor
get
things,
to
slaughter
do something
it.
like that when you don't have the issue of theft case every now and then.
Of course, they are small,
That's what
and
I'm
everybody
saying.
have it.
Supposing
So
it's an environment where every now and then there are theft cases and all of that, you wouldn't want to have your
we
sheep
still,
loosed now.
but we still have that even in places where you're afraid
Okay,
somebody will
yeah, it's
take
true.
your goat.
Yeah,
You
it's
still
true.
let it loose and something like that. So it makes the meat very rich because it's not what we call agri care, it's what we call local here. So you find out that the meat is more healthy, have more, the protein level is higher and all of that. And I mean, for me, it's a slow roasted lamb,
Yeah, I think it's a
definitely.
very nice one because you can't just allow your sheep or whatever thing you're rearing to be restricted to some particular food every now and then because it's not going to be healthy for for the animal or for whatever thing you are rearing. But then by the time you allow the animal to roam about, be exposed to a lot of food and all of that, it will as well affect the animal in terms of health and all of that.
You
And
sounded like the animal is a human being to be
I'm just no
exposed to
from
a lot of food.
I'm just trying to come out from their perspective or
From the
from their
animal's
angle,
angle
yeah. So
of
sort
being
of.
exposed to a lot of food.
So we have fermented shark, which is
Mm.
actually a traditional dish in Iceland. So this shark meat has been cured with a particular fermenting process, then hung outside to dry for 4 to 5 months. And I'm like, wow,
That's
this
a
is
long
this
period.
strange. No, it's strange because when you hang a particular meat outside, there is this tendency of you attracting flies and germs and all of that. So
Mm.
I just feel there's a preservative method that these people usually use in order to prevent some of these, meat or their food to be contaminated with either germs or whatsoever thing that would contaminate the food and all of that. So I think this is a very nice one. But then it has to be in an environment where it is secured for you to do this thing. You
Well,
don't just go to just anywhere and hang your meat
well,
there.
it's only in Iceland that you find
But you,
a dried shark. And when you look at the history of this dry shark, it is a very old
it's a fact,
traditional
like for thousands of
thousand
years.
years when we have the old Icelanders who don't have
The
much for storing.
Scandinavians.
Yes, they don't have refrigerators. They don't have the modern ways of storing food. Have to use that method of drying, but for some reason the locals don't eat it that much anymore. It's just been it's been brought down to like a traditional meal where you have it on like very special occasion, but it's not really a regular meal being served every day, or it just
On a
left
daily
for like
basis,
special
true.
but then it's something to definitely try. I mean, I
Yeah,
didn't
I
know
think
people eat
I would really, really
shark
want to.
meat,
I
and
would
now I
really,
know
really
that
want
we
to
have
taste it
people in the world that eat
because
shark.
I want to see how different it looks like. I mean, the taste looks like, and I just want to see how the texture is going to look like. Like if it's going to be like a fish, or it's going to be like a
Most
normal.
likely a fish.
So I'm just
I
wondering
mean, a
though.
shark is a fish.
Yeah, it is, but like I'm just curious to know though.
Yes.
I don't want to be sure that it's actually a fish until I see it.
Oh, hopefully
Because
we'll
even
see
from the
different
pictures of what
taste.
I've seen, it looks like a beef sort of meat for me. So I don't know.
Maybe until you
So I'm just
taste it.
until I taste and I see
Yes.
it for myself. And then we have the Icelandic hot dog. You may maybe already have heard about this famous Atlantic hot dog, but then this is seemingly everyday item that has gained worldwide stardom over the years. In fact, the former or one of the US president, who is Bill Clinton, has once famously called this as the best hot dogs in the whole wide world. So talking about hot dog, I don't really know how it tastes like and all of that, but for a person like this, like,
It's a sausage, actually. Hot dog is a sausage.
oh really?
Yes, and most of the time it's made from pork, but there is chicken sausage, there's beef sausage, depending on the meat.
Hot dog
It's
for me
been
literally is just it means like normal like normal dog meat for me.
like, wow, but it's not. And I just took
I said
time to
literally. I said
explain it to you a
literally.
little bit.
I said literally from the name.
Just
hot
because
dog.
of the name,
Yeah,
yeah.
hot dog. I would see it to be
It's-
normal dog meat
Yeah,
that
but
is
it is
hot, that
sausage
is
and
served.
it's made from different types of meat. It's the majority of what meat is being made from is from pork. Okay, yes, but then it can be made from any other type of meat. You just have to know, but then that's basically what hot dog is. It's just a sausage. And then we are seeing that it's been ranked by a former president as one of the best in the so meaning
Citizen of a country of American
yes,
US
saying it's
citizens
good.
say it's good.
So
So
it-
I think it's
obviously
something that one should try
try.
and test and all
Yes,
of that.
definitely. And then we are having one food here, which will just go for the English word. It's saying dark rye bread from a hot spring.
Spring.
It's a traditional rye bread that Icelanders have been eating for many years. It is traditionally baked in a pot or steamed in special wood casks, which have been buried in the ground near a hot spring. This bread is crustless, dark brown, dense, and and the taste is quite sweet. It is great with butter, smoked salmon, and we have mutton, that is smoked lamb, or with pickled herring or cheese. Icelanders often eat this bread as a side dish with the Icelandic fish dish, or you can buy this bread in most grocery stores in Iceland. It looks like when you look at it, it have this kind of future that look like what the Indians call parathas or rotis, or what we usually call the shawarma wrap here, because this bread doesn't have a crust. You just steam it. Is not the kind of standard. Is flat, and then it's just different in nature, and then you can eat it in like different ways, whether with their fish dish. So it's not a bread on its own. It's like it goes
The way I'm looking
with
at you, sitting attentively, like someone that is giving someone education on how to succeed in life. I'll continue.
it goes with other dishes. So it's not just a bread you just eat alone. It might be sweet, but it's a bit boring eating it all by itself. So you just have to eat it with
Yeah, you have to
something else.
maybe butter or something. Yeah,
Yes.
it's true. Then talking about the activities done in Iceland, there are other activities like exploring the Iceland caves.
Yes.
There are a lot of caves there in Iceland, and they are like they are like an ancient caves that have been there, and some of them are actually mysteriously done artificially. And then you'll be wondering the mystery behind the making of some caves, and you'll be like, what gives this some of the makers of these caves the inside of what they have done and all of that. And they have about 200 of these artificial caves there in Iceland. And aside from that, there are some like natural caves that are there that are even more than the artificial ones. So when you go to places like that, you enter caves like this, you'll be wondering the things that you're likely to see there. You'll be wondering the things that are habitating there, and you want to know more, and you would want to see things for yourself because of the fact that you've not really been in a cave before, perhaps, but then for the fact that you're exposed to that kind of opportunity, you would want to be there and see how some of these markings of these caves are being done, and how like the inside look, and you just curiosity would want to keep people like me to just see things for myself.
For me, it's the active volcanoes, actually. Like, I mean, we know what a volcano eruption is. It is scary, and then we're seeing that in Iceland they have, approximately 130 volcanoes, and eruptions occur every 3 years on average. I mean, like,
Every 3
it would be nice though to there should be tiny volcanoes for them to be able to live with them, but it would be great to be able to hike
it's
an
scary.
active volcano.
It can be scary though.
It can be, it is scary. It's not it can be, it is scary. But if it is a tourist attraction, you're there for the fun, you're there for the adrenaline, you're there for everything that will amuse you. So you don't want to leave anything out. It's just about the active
I
volcano.
think just for the fun of it and the excitement that goes
It
alongside.
is.
Then we have the friendly swim with the locals.
Locals.
So the most authentic and budget friendly way to enjoy Iceland is the energy that comes along with the public swimming pools, and where you see a lot of people minding the fact, not minding the fact that the region there is cold, but then talking about pool, it don't have to be necessarily cold, but then there are some other pools that are actually warm that you can enjoy yourself, and in fact you wouldn't even want to leave the excitement that you are getting from such pools, from such pools actually. So it's a place that you meet or you come in contact with a lot of local people, or let's say common people therein, and then having fun, where you see a lot of people picnicking, camping, gisting, some even just sitting at the side of the pool, catching fun or having fun, and being excited about everything that is happening as regards activities that are done there. So I think it's a place that one should have his or herself indulged into, an activity one should have yourself indulged into, so that you have that experience of a warm bath that probably one may have not gotten before and all of that. So there are a lot of these poles there, and it's not as if they're actually cold. A lot of them are actually warm because of the weather there. When you have cold weather, you should know that a lot of things that you're likely to engage into will be things that would warm you up so that you will not be cold or icing up and all of that. So I think the budget. I mean, the fee there is even is budget friendly. So you don't have to necessarily think of the money you are going to spend to have that fun and all of that. So
and
I think
Iceland is a cold place. It's most of the time of the year it is cold, and that means there are a lot of snow activity.
Yes,
and I mean, we are Africans, and regardless of how cold it gets, we are still a very hot continent, so it will be a lot of adjustment for you who wants to migrate to Iceland. But then there are a lot of activities there. We saw how they go for skating on the snow. We see how they go for skiing. We see how they use snowmobiles and all of that. And these are all the fun activities to have for the snow. So it's like you can't miss out the snow, because that is what it's all about in the first place. That's what the name is all about. That's how the people's life is revolving around the snow. That's just who they are. And therefore, when you are going to Iceland, just go with the mindset that I'm here for the snow. The summer would last for for a very short period of time. I just have to make the best use of the snow and just have the fun I can have in it.
Then I think lastly we'll talk about the activity of you either going out to enjoy yourself watching whales. And it's not only whales but sharks too. There's this excitement you see where you see like ordinarily where you see even ordinary fish jumping up in the water, playing and all of that, and then you'll be wondering, what's up now, what's going on? But then for the fact that you are seeing a bigger animal that does all of those things would gear up your curiosity of wanting to see more, wanting to witness more, wanting to be involved more. But then you have to be careful and keep distance so that you not be caught wanting.
Of course, you won't go see a whale or a shark in a boat. Of course, it has to be in a tour. Well, of course, it's a boat, but not that kind of small boat. I believe that the tourism there is protective about people who come and go, and we've not heard of cases of people being eaten by sharks in Iceland or a boat being capsized by a whale. No, there haven't been such recorded, most especially for tourists going to Iceland. So above all, it is an entirely beautiful place, and no matter how long your stay or short your stay is in Iceland, there is just so much, and there's no one thing that nobody won't look forward to when it comes to Iceland, what the culture have to offer and even what the people have to offer to you.
I think I love this Iceland, and if there is any place I would love to go to aside from Maldives, I think it will be Iceland.
I've heard you thousands of times. You have listed over 100 countries.
Sometimes don't.
Maybe we'll start having a scale of 1 to 10. What I was trying
to say is that sometimes you don't really adhere to what I say.
By what you have said, you have been living in over 20 countries in the world by now.
You don't take some of these things I say seriously like that.
I should take them word like joke.
For the fun.
Wow, okay.
So this brings us to the end of this show. But then, because I have the anointing on my head, I would want you to appoint you to close the show on our behalf.
All right. Thank you for keeping a date with us on the Midday Show. Anthony Phillipson and Rachel Daniels Doherty have been on a trip to the Scandinavian country, which is Iceland. And for today, we were Icelanders, and then we saw all the beautiful things they do, what they have, the wealth, and of course the things that will mesmerize you, and you would want to migrate and live wherever you want in the world and just go to Iceland. Keep a date with us next time. Goodbye.